My name is Albert Wesker. I aspired to become a leading researcher at Umbrella Inc., a pharmaceutical enterprise who covertly conducted bioorganic weapons, better known as BOW, for development.
Albert Wesker is undoubtedly one of Resident Evil's most memorable and important characters. Appearing in the very first RE game in 1996, the character struck a chord immediately with gamers around the world, with distinctive looks that, one might say, was blatantly inspired by 1986's Top Gun movie. Wesker's involvement was suspiciously minimal, disappearing without a trace during the introduction, and subsequently making only a brief appearance around the game's halfway point, before returning once more during its climax. This minor role only furthered the player's curiosity as the game went on, and made one often wonder what this mysterious character was really up to. And as the leader of the Raccoon City STARS unit, one couldn't help but feel that this guy was more than just a little off.
So, you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the tyrant.
Greetings! You must be the lovely Claire Redfield.
Who are you?
Let's just say that I'm a ghost, coming back to haunt your dear brother.
Wesker?
It seems there's not much explaining to do, is there?
Fast forward to 2000's Code Veronica, where Wesker returned with fresh duds, a British accent, Terminator eyes, a slightly bigger role, and new fantastical powers that gave even Neo a run for his money. Fans such as myself immediately fell in love with the character that much more, especially with the slightly enhanced Code Veronica X version, which added even more Wesker goodness. And in the spring of 2002, when the glorious Resident Evil 1 remake released, offering probably the most grounded approach to the Wesker character to date, well, there really wasn't much room for turning back.
You gotta love Barry. He must really be afraid of Umbrella.
You and Umbrella took his family, you bastard. Oh!
Wesker had truly solidified his role as the big, cool bad in the Resident Evil universe. He's mysterious, intelligent, preempting, a bit of a pervert, conniving, cool, calm, and collected. Well, mostly. Throughout the years, the series has tried to either replicate or replace this iconic character, with duds such as Resident Evil 6's Derek Simmons, offering little more than just another generic power-hungry and egotistical bad guy, who made about as much of an impact on the series as that one Revelations character no one gives two shits about. We all have our preferences, of course, but I think most of us can agree that not one antagonist that followed after Wesker's untimely and beyond disappointing demise in Resident Evil 5 has even come close to successfully taking over the reins as Resident Evil's most iconic bad guy. Albert Wesker, even after 27 years, still remains Resident Evil's best villain to date, with Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil Code Veronica X effectively pulling off the character more than any other game in my opinion. Sorry, but, and I know I'll trigger the majority on this one, as entertaining as RE5 Wesker is, he's ultimately just another power-hungry madman you could watch in countless action movies over the course of the last few decades. But don't get me wrong guys, even I can admit that he's still a bloody good highlight.
Ouroboros will be released into the atmosphere, ensuring complete global saturation.
Now speaking of action movies, the shitty Anderson series actually went proper balls deep with the character, that is to say, in keeping with the general vibe and overall appearance. And although giving fans of the series more of what they wanted, as is often the case with direct live action adaptations, this can actually do more harm than good.
Too bad you will die.
The trouble with being near enough 100% faithful to the video games when it comes to directly translating characters for movie adaptations is that it can often feel like cosplay. It doesn't seem right somehow, and so often evokes emotions such as embarrassment, resentment, and a sense of inner conflict, at least from a fan's perspective. But maybe it's just me, perhaps it's my longing for something more serious and grounded in reality for a live action adaptation. I've always wanted Resident Evil to be presented to moviegoers as something they will remember for the better, something that they can respect and think about, rather than a joke, which is what the live-action interpretations feel like to me. Resident Evil simply deserves better, and although filled to the brim with ludicrous moments that truly escalated around Code Veronica, Resident Evil 0, and Resident Evil 4, the series would be painted in a much better and respected light than what's been fed to us over the last 22 odd years now, if decision makers, producers, writers and directors would just give this serious, almost dramatic approach a chance. So with that being said, who should play this villainous and mysterious icon that both fans of the series and in the dark movie audiences can both appreciate? Who do you think would make the perfect on-screen live-action Albert Wesker, and why? Let us know in the comments.
They put together a screen test, which I recently saw.
For the longest time, I always thought Kevin Bacon would have nailed the role of the secretive and evasive double-crossing badass. Not only is Kevin Bacon a talented actor, starring in memorable roles such as Footloose, Tremors and Hollow Man, the latter of which I'll return to shortly, but his natural tone, physique and demeanour seem to fit well with the Wesker character. I can recall this one instance when I was rewatching Hollow Man, which originally released in 2000, and thinking, wow, this guy could so play a more grounded Albert Wesker in a live-action adaptation. This was the movie that solidified the idea that Mr. Bacon would have made for a killer Albert Wesker.
Hello, face.
More specifically, Bacon sounds like a dead cert for the character when comparing with the RE1 remake version. I really don't think it takes much to imagine the actor in the role. He may not look like the spitting image of the character, but throw Wesker's apparel and shades on him, and you've got what I believed to be a front runner for the role.
All right, you two go. I'll secure this area.
Well, it should be daylight in Sweden now, so I should probably call the Nobel Committee and tell them to get our prize ready.
But unfortunately, Kevin's getting on a bit now, and the more Capcom and Hollywood throw us multiple disastrous versions of one of their most highest selling and well-known franchises into movies and TV shows, alas, I fear this pick will never really ever come to fruition. But there is another. I recently watched the Amazon series The Boys, and aside from being one of the best things I've watched in the last decade or so, one actor stood out miles from the rest of this amazing show's cast, and that actor's name is Anthony Starr.
It really is all about me.
Anthony Starr has appeared in several movies and shows over the past few decades, such as featuring as David in the cringe but equally awesome Xena Warrior Princess, to the more recent American Sausage Standoff movie. Mr. Starr is my new pick for a live-action Albert Wesker, one that both remains grounded in conjunction with the Resident Evil 1 remake version, as well as the more overt interpretations of the Code Veronica and RE5 versions. This man, I believe, can cover them all. Anthony shows off so much of his acting chops in The Boys and has blatantly been given full rein to portray this character as entertaining as possible, utilising his acting ability to the fullest.
I don't know, maybe you think you should be sitting in my chair and I should be sitting all the way down there in yours.
His overall appearance, his physique, hair and voice, he'll have no trouble making even the most die-hard Resident Evil fan like yours truly proud and beyond satisfied.
I'm not some weak-kneed crybaby that goes around apologizing all the time. And why the would you want me to
commercial? Roger, go to commercial.
Don't you dare stop rolling, Roger.
Capcom, please, make some phone calls and get this guy involved in a more seriously produced Resident Evil film. Not movie, film. Hell, even a Netflix or Amazon series would be awesome. Just make it happen, you crazy money-hungry bastards.
Put a knife to their children's throat, like Abraham to Isaac, if I say so.
As for the rest of the cast, who would you like to see star in a more respected and down-to-earth Resident Evil adaptation? Who would be your ideal Chris, Jill, or Leon? Sound off in the comments, and please like, share, and subscribe to Egg on Beans on Toast if you enjoyed this video. And I will see you all very soon.